You've done this before, you know, kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, talking to
Am
your
I
mic.
like looking at you?
You can do both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you.
Hi, welcome back. I am Marissa Lauren, and I'm the host here for the Havens Diaries. And today we have Lindsay with us. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm so good. We've just spent, for reference, like an hour here already talking.
Just yapping. And we're like, we better start recording, or it'll be like, time for me to go pick up my kid from daycare, and we'll have nothing to show for it.
What time do you have to pick him up?
2:30.
Okay.
We're good.
Yeah, we're so good. Okay, so today it's episode 4, and it's building a dance community. So I thought Lindsay would be a great person to be here, simply because you have, I feel like, not only built such a large dance community, but I feel like you've built more than one. Like, I feel like maybe also because of your new Instagram and everything, that it's a lot of like, I've built this thing up, and you're like, now I'm going to start fresh, and then you start from scratch and you build it up. So I have a lot of questions to ask, but we'll get started. So the very first one is, what do you think makes a dance studio feel like a community rather than just a business?
So I feel like there's a few different things. Like, number one, when I think about something as being just a business, it feels a lot more transactional. Like, I decide the product, I decide the service, and then whoever wants that product or service, then like they're gonna come. So it's a lot more of like a top-down approach. Focusing more on a community, I feel like it's flipped. It's like there's more space for whether it's your dancers or just like your customers in general, any business, to have more of a say and more of an input. It's like you get to co-create alongside your customers. There's more room like for them to have input, for them to like give their opinions, and like for you to really like create your services and products to like fit the needs that they're giving you. So many businesses, and I see this on Instagram so much, especially in like the influencer world, is that they spend so much time on personal branding, and that's very important. We know that people do business with people they know, like, and trust, and people they want to be friends with. And so it's great, like, and I know for us, sometimes as having like more community focused business, we can sometimes forget to put ourselves out there and get people to know who we are, because it is such a draw in knowing like, I don't just want to dance with Haven, I want to dance with Marissa, and I want to, you know, be in like Marissa's energy and vibe. But businesses spend all that time on personal branding to create a relationship between the business owner and like the customer. But the goal of the community is not only having that relationship between the owner and the customer or the dancer, and having relationships among dancers, among customers. And from a business perspective, it makes sense, right? Like, if at the end of the day, your tie to my business is only to me, that's like that's one rope, that's one knot, that's one tie. But if I can form more bonds, suddenly you have 40 ties to my business, 100 ties to my business, even something as small as like, you know, 3 or, you know, 5 other people. And so it's really about, can I create a space where they can build relationship with each other?
Yeah, okay, I have a few notes in response to that. I do feel like one of the first things that I ask people when they come into the studio, besides like, how did you find us? Because I'm always so curious, is why? And a lot of it is because I just want to make friends. Like, it's the most innocent of answers, but it really is hard to make friends, I feel, as an adult. I also have noticed, to your point though, of sometimes like, we have a lot of group chats with the classes and everything going on. So someone will put in the group chat, maybe it's like my beginner heels. They're like, I'm gonna go try the twerk class with Kelsey on Sunday. Who wants to join me? And then it like brings a whole other influx. And I feel like when there's a lot of different classes too that are offered, getting that crossover is key, because someone, at least for me, someone who does pole might not do heels, or someone who does heels, and then those people literally never cross paths, even though they're in the studio the same amount, like the same frequency, which is always so crazy to me. I guess my question in turn to you then is, when you say it allows your community to have more of like a voice and an opinion, does that ever come to a fault to you? Like, okay.
It can definitely come at a cost. And I feel like the reward totally outweighs it all.
Oh, good.
For so many different reasons. Like I said, it's like helping retention, it's getting people into more classes. They also, like, people become your super fans, and like, and I don't mean like actual super fans, like they're fangirling you, but like it's just a term in business and marketing of like people who are like they're most vocal, referring to other people,
sharing on Instagram.
Yeah,
that kind of
they
stuff.
help you like in a private Facebook group. Like I know we both run them for like our sessions and things like that. I mean, they save me so much admin time because they'll be like, what's the link for the show tickets? It saves like that being an email. And it's like, that's a post in the Facebook group that somebody else can answer. Not that it's a downfall, but the cost, I like the word cost. The cost of it is that you have like a million cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And that's when it's important in knowing that, yes, you are a member of your own community, but you are also the leader of that community. You have to go into it having boundaries and like policies in place. The biggest thing I've learned into sort of like not feel like there's so many cooks in the kitchen is being so intentional and vocal about my values and my mission. Because if I'm unclear, it leaves room for people to suggest things that like don't maybe align with Strut Niagara. For example, I'd say like one thing that I run into quite frequently in my program is when it comes to costuming.
Oh yes.
I give color and vibe,
Yeah.
and the rest is up to them. And the reason why I do that is like a few different reasons. One, everybody has different, comfortability. Like someone may be like, I don't want to wear like booty shorts, or I don't want to wear a crop top.
Yeah.
And so they get to wear what fits their body, what makes them feel, because nothing can ruin a dance you love than a costume you hate. And so giving them more free reign to do that. But I have a lot of dancers, especially dancers who come from a dance background, who want the same costume.
Yes. The unanimous look,
Yes.
right?
And like, does it look sharp on a stage to see everyone wearing the same thing? Hell yeah. Oh wait, can I swear on this?
Yeah.
Okay, hell fucking yes. It is like the dancer inside of you is like, oh, this looks like so much cleaner instantly. The lines are all the same. And do I personally love the look of it? Yes. But does conformity align with Strut Niagara's vision of promoting creativity and individuality and a community where everyone feels safe to be confident? No, it doesn't.
So how do you handle situations like that when you have people come to you that are like,
I have to rely on, like, number one, setting a boundary of like, I know that that's like your preference, but explaining to them again, like, here's why it doesn't align. And we want to make sure that people feel comfortable. The goal here, if you're not here to make sure that everybody feels safe here and that everybody gets full access to feeling their most confident, then I'm not the program for you. And so I've had to be strict with it. And some conversations have been uncomfortable. Some conversations are emotional, but it's like knowing that as the business owner, you have to be prepared to like know how to navigate and not people please.
Have those hard conversations that make you uncomfortable. That you're like, sorry, this is one thing that like I actually can't budge on.
Yeah, and like by having a community also, people care more about each other. It's not about the individual experience. And so I'm not saying like, oh, we all want to wear shorts, I guess we're not allowed. If you want to wear shorts, then wear booty shorts. It's okay, because then at least I can say to another dancer who says it's not fair that that class gets to, I can say that class is abiding by the same rules as everybody. It just so happens that they all felt comfortable in something similar. Or they all, from past shows, having bought similar things, are wearing similar pieces, reusing. So I'm like, it's not going to stop all the feelings, but I at least have, like I said earlier, that like policy to fall back on. Systems and having things in place is what is going to help you navigate all those different things.
Okay, so I've had a similar experience. My therapist and I were talking about trust and how I don't have a lot of
trust. Love our therapists.
They're so great. Shout out, Deb. But I don't have a lot of trust in other people, and it's because it was stemming, long story short, from I don't have a lot of trust in myself. And
Yeah.
in regards to the people pleasing, it's almost felt like you're trying to please this person and then this person and then this person. And it was all like one-on-one to avoid those hard conversations. But then it felt like you were like keeping secrets and like hiding. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh God, like don't tell anyone else though that I'm doing this just for you. That eventually, the more confident I think that I felt in myself in having those hard conversations and just making a decision. And it's like, this is the way it's going to be because morally, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
It became so freeing to be like, okay, whew, like that was done. And 9 times out of 10, it's well received.
Yes, I know. We make up so many stories
Yeah.
in our head because I have like my story is that I'm not liked and
Yeah.
like that I'm not a likable person. And so when the thought of having to say no or like prioritize my vision or something that's important to me, I'm like, they're not gonna like me, and then they're gonna quit, and
like
then you
fueling
spiral.
that voice in your head.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
this isn't just like to everybody else. This is a community that is like really, fun and exciting, and it's that to us also. But we also are the ones like put, our personal finances on the line, and this is how we feed our family. And
Emotionally invested,
yes,
financially invested.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have invested so much, and sometimes people won't understand that until, like it's their money on the line, or they've taken a bigger responsibility in what's going on. And so by trying to make everyone feel good, you end up making everyone feel bad because it's like, well, how come like she got this and I didn't, or
Yeah.
how come they,
Oh,
did
yeah.
this, and it's like that actually is like so against.
Like it's so far from what I wanted. That was not my intention.
And so sometimes you have to have those no conversations so that everyone feels like it's a bigger yes community. Because
Yes.
it's like, I love the example of the costuming because, yeah, whatever you have envisioned for this dance, if you're like, oh, I would love it if we were all wearing a leotard. It's like, then wear a leotard.
Yeah.
You have full,
Live your life.
you could do that, but I'm not going to make, this other dancer wear that if that's not what is comfortable. But you have to manage the cooks in the kitchen and remind yourself, like, I'm head chef. I'm Gordon Ramsay in this bitch. And I have to put my foot down sometimes.
Yeah, I did find actually a nice, like, not a compromise because that sounds like a lose-lose, but like a good meet in the middle, I think, would be like everyone's their own individual person. You can all pick from this lookbook of ideas of like what our theme is, but everyone's gonna have the same black whip, or everyone's gonna have the same like
accessories.
one unanimous accessory that kind of ties it all in, so it makes sense.
100%. We do
Yeah.
that a lot too.
Do you remember when you had to wear the cropped red single arm shrug? Put a photo up there for that.
So I cannot handle anything on my neck. And I like use this as an example sometimes. I can't like I will throw up.
Was that my idea? I have to know because I don't remember.
I don't remember, but I was like, I tried. When it came up, I was like, Marissa, it was like, one for folks at home. It was like one arm, and then it was stunning. It's stunning, so sharp on stage, but it hooks around like your neck like a choker with an arm. And I'm literally shocked. I can't even talk about how high my shirt is right now, or I'll throw up. This is as like now I'm starting to feel claustrophobic. But anything on my neck I cannot handle. I will puke.
Oh my God.
And I remember saying like, there's no fucking way that I can wear this goddamn thing. And I remember backstage during rehearsal, I'm like getting people to do it up, and I'm like, ugh, ugh. I'm like, I can't do it. So
that
I ended
I
up,
do remember that. I think at one point you like took it off. You're like, I just need a break. Like it was.
yeah,
not-
I'm like, I cannot handle. I was sweating.
Yeah.
I was like, and so I ended up pinning it to my shirt.
You didn't even do it up?
No.
I didn't know that.
I'm like, literally, it was like right before show, and I'm like, I cannot fucking do this. And then I'm like, Steph, pin it. So I had my arm on, and then I just had it all pinned to my tank top.
That's hilarious.
I didn't have it around my neck. Yeah, I pinned it.
That's actually
But see,
so
you didn't
funny.
even know.
I didn't, and that's happened a few times that I'll be sitting in the audience watching the show, and then like a day or something later, people would be like, "Did you know, actually?" And I'm like, "I had no idea."
That I was wearing tap shoes and not heels.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a woman go on stage before and she forgot to put her pants on. I had no idea. Like, it's crazy. But when you're watching the whole show, you're just like enjoying the performance, and you're really just enjoying like everyone that's put in the hard work.
It's not so serious. It's just for fun.
So fun.
And so it's our job to keep it as fun as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In comfortable clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steph still has that arm, and she like I don't know, I probably like burned it so that I never had to like think about it again. But no, Steph's actually worn it for a show again.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but I'm like, no, I could never.
I'm so happy that actually came back into use.
Yeah, it was a crowd pleaser for sure.
That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I feel like we kind of just touched on it, but how do you foster a welcoming and inclusive environment for your students? Like, how do you keep it always so hoorah-rah?
Yeah. You want to create opportunity like in class for people to connect. And so it's number one, like allowing for opportunity for people to connect. You don't have to run your class like it's a competitive program where it's like there is absolutely no time for yapping. Like it is, but you also have to have control of it. You have to like know when to like give like a little water break, and you know, like they can have like a quick little like side conversation, or asking more questions in class, like asking open-ended questions, asking for like, how does this feel? Or like, what are questions that you have? Because sometimes I feel like people are even afraid to ask a question. Totally. And so even by phrasing it, like, and not even like, does anyone have questions? And then having to say yes or no. It's what questions do you have? Well, if you're asking me to ask a question, then it's this. And someone's like, yeah, actually I have that same question too.
True.
And so it creates that. But in terms of like just welcoming and inclusive, it all starts with language and energy. And it's not just what happens in our class, it's like what happens outside of it. So a great example I think of this for myself is I a few sessions ago had a trans dancer join our program. And she came in and she was sweet as a fucking button, but shaking like a leaf, like so nervous to come. And part of that in that conversation, which was a big eye opener for me, was like, how could I have done better to at least take the fear away from knowing whether or not you'd be welcome here? And so it was like, okay, now I need to look at how I talk about our program, how I market it, like, you know, what is like the language and the words like that I use? Like, am I constantly saying like calling all women, or like, let's go girls, let's go ladies, and like using more inclusive language that somebody instantly would go, okay, this isn't just like a girls club. Like I, as a trans person, as a non-binary person, as a male dancer, this is a place for me to come also. And so that was like language that I used. I included like just anti-bullying policies in general, but then also like to have a more formalized process, we have a trans inclusion statement that we have on our website.
I think I do recall seeing a lot of this last year sometime being posted on your Instagram.
Yeah.
So that might have been like the pivotal moment for you to be like, oh, like,
yeah,
I know this, but everyone else might not know this.
Exactly. I remember I took a diversity and inclusion course years ago, and they said diversity, equity, and inclusion is like adding a elevator to your hotel. It helps the people who need it, but it's also great for everyone else who doesn't, but who can also utilize it. And so it's making sure that like when it comes to gender, when it comes to size inclusivity, when it comes to levels, ability, age, that we're using language that says we are for everybody. It's made me be a better instructor with creating even more levels in my routines. Not everyone goes down to the floor. Being mindful of like how different bodies bend. And just because maybe my body may bend a certain way doesn't mean that someone else could. Sometimes it's not about trying, like say there's something they can't do. It's not always about working harder to get it. It's about finding the modification that works for you that still gives the same impact.
Yes, yeah. I completely agree, especially because I feel like more often nowadays, at least for me, sometimes I will get a question of how far are we bending down here? How far are we going down? And a lot of the times I feel like my answer is going to, that depends on your mobility and your range of motion. So I might not be able to go down as much as someone who has more flexibility than me because I was not blessed with that. That's something that I have to work for like every single day. And even then I still feel stiff as a board. So something for me that's like a stretch to my instructor Chris is like nothing. She does that in her sleep, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of like, knowing that range of motion and making sure that it's like, you don't have to look like me. You want to look like you are doing this move.
Yes.
How does it work and how does it look for you? Because that's what's going to be important.
Yes.
The little detail that I give you of like my 90-degree angle for my elbow or whatever it is still going to look different on you.
Yeah.
So look in the mirror and see what works for you and your body type. I do find to be supremely helpful.
Yeah, and it reminds everybody in the class, like, right, this is not about being perfect and all looking the same. Like, this is for fun and it's meant to boost my confidence. Like, if I am so hard on myself about like doing this like one particular move, for example, and that takes away from like the energy that I give it. It's like I tell my dancers all the time, whatever you think and say about yourself, the audience is going to believe.
Yeah.
If you come out and you are uncertain and you are,
it shows.
It shows. And you could have someone who is such a strong, I rather watch a strong performer and someone who's weaker technically than a technician who doesn't crack a smile.
I completely agree. I am, okay. Myself and the audience that comes to watch, we are here simply to be entertained.
Yes.
We don't know. I do, but no one else knows. No one else knows what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So if you even forget the entire dance, which I know is like a big fear for so many people, it literally doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't. But if you are out there having the time of your life, step touch, but you are putting on a great
like,
show
you had
with
a good solo.
Yeah. What a feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh
it
my
makes
God.
a huge difference. Watching your face come alive more so than anything else.
Yeah, and it's like, it's our friends and family for the most part in the audience.
Totally.
Like, they're watching us. They have, I say to them, like, do you think that your spouse is going to be like, babe, you did amazing, but there was one 4 count there that seemed a little bit shaky. I like, how, did you step left when you were supposed to go right? Like, they don't know. It's like, and we watch top down. Like, they watch your face first. They watch how much space you take up. And I think that's part of like making your program feel really welcome and inclusive is like, you have to be a natural motivator. You have to know that I'm not coming in just as a technical instructor, but I am here to build up people's self-esteem for, especially in adult programs. It's not just building. Oftentimes it's more unlearning.
Yeah.
It's unlearning things that we already feel about ourselves. It's unlearning what we think the dance industry says about us. Kayla Falloon, who I was chatting with her after the last time we had her, and it was before. And I said that to her, like, my goal today is like, I'm gonna have fun. And I'm gonna stop worrying about if everyone in the room is watching me to see, is she good? Is she great? Is she this? And Kayla was like, because I said, like, sometimes I question myself of like, should I even know this if I'm not like the most prestigious dancer?
Yeah.
And Kayla's like, okay, she's like, even like, look at you and I as an example. She's like, okay, she's like, my technique may be more advanced, like performance or whatever. And she's like, but your superpower, she's like, I've never run a program with 140 dancers in it. And she's like, your superpower is creating like this community. And she's like, and don't discount yourself at all as a dancer. You are a beautiful, amazing dancer. But stop only like thinking that that's the only
cool thing about you.
Yeah. Like, it's not the only like
be.
prerequisite that you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
Like, you know how to lead people through dance safely. You have a technical background. And so there's the integrity in the instruction. But you make people feel a part of something. And you're not here trying to put on, I treat my program like we're a professional program. I want to put on the best goddamn show. But we're a recreational program. And that is always fun is always going to trump
Yes.
being perfect.
Or being the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single time I talk to Kayla Falloon or I take one of her classes,
Yeah.
it ends in happy, joyful tears.
I know.
But she just always like has the right thing to say
Yeah.
to you. Going back kind of to what you were saying, have you ever, in creating that inclusive community, faced a challenge or like had someone come to you with like a big like, you shouldn't be doing this because blah, 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 blah. And if you did, like, how did you handle that?
You have to bless and again, maybe we're not even blessing. It's 2025, we're not blessing. We're just releasing. You have to let it go. I think sometimes, especially in business, I think the biggest obstacle, I would say, 100% hands down, is scarcity mindset. Because sometimes we feel like the more we either like niche down or get clear about who we are, no matter what that is, we could potentially alienate current or potential customers. And I've definitely been in that position before with like the people pleasing and with like a big thing for me is like levels, is like letting people move up levels before they were ready. I had to, it bit me in the butt. I will say for all of you that want to move up levels, wait for your teacher to let you know. You can express interest 100%. Moving up levels before you're ready is not good for anybody. It does not make you, I'm like, the only time you'll ever feel empowered moving up when you're not ready is when you click add to cart.
Yeah.
Is when you get to say like, I am in the, inter class, or I'm in this class.
Yeah.
Showing up to a class that you are not ready for, where you feel like you're behind, does nothing for your self-esteem. You're going to be in a negative mindset, which is not going to help you be able to dig in deeper. And not only that, as much as people will try their best, it does not create camaraderie in class. Because even if you're like, I love everybody, but to know that if you work super hard on something at a level that is meant for you and somebody who's in a level not meant for them is like constantly bumping into you, or like choreography has to be changed because, for like it's just not working. That doesn't make that person feel like I want to develop a relationship with you. But if I have a scarcity mindset, I'm doing anything to keep that person to join the program. And that's when we start to falter on all these things that we've put in place. And so people are going to be mad when you are like trying to just do what you want to do. And you just have to like let it go and not make it mean everything. It says more about them than it does about yourself.
I get what you're saying, actually. I feel like I have so many things going through my brain in response to it, and I don't know if I'm going to remember them all. I have had people, to your point of wanting to move up a level, for this, that, and the other reason, they had to do it, blah, 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 whatever. They move up. It's like, you know what? If you need to learn the hard way, so be it. And I have had people move up a level, and it ruins the session for them to go back down. But it's like, you know what?
Or they quit, and that's the worst case scenario, is that they then quit.
Yeah.
And they're like, this obviously isn't, because they get in their head of like, oh my God, now I am not good.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling, and that's embarrassing for me. And this is not, like, again, it's like the vision, right? And I try to remind people, like, what is your vision?
Yes, know your why.
Yes, your goals. Like, you're telling me you want to move up. Okay, we can create a plan for that goal. If that is something that's really important to you. Like, truly, even if you're in a level that you feel like, oh, I wish I was in a higher level, if you trust and you let your like ego move out of the way and go, what is the opportunity here for me? My advanced dancers know that they can go to a beginner class and feel challenged because they find the opportunity to feel challenged. They may understand that, pick up the choreography, but they're like, great. I tell people, don't always, if you want to move up, don't just go to upper levels. Go to lower levels.
Go to a different instructor.
Yeah, I'm like, going to a lower level, you're like, okay, I don't have to be fighting for the choreo.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight for the technique of this choreo that I picked up so easily. I'm
Slow
going to
and
perform
controlled.
the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
We are pushing ourselves too goddamn hard in advance to appear advanced all the time. It gives us an opportunity to like sink more into our technique and think more about like like sometimes dancing slow, like doing a slow, like 2 count of 8 melt, 8 down and 8 up is so much harder than doing like a swipe, drop, come up in a 4 fucking count.
Yes, my classes and I talk about this too, because when you're going fast, it's easier to fake something. You don't go all the way, you don't hit that full range of motion, whatever the case may be, versus when you are going even just slow struts, it's like you can see every nook and cranny that's going on. You can see what's being squeezed, what's not, like where's the weight distribution going in your foot when you step. And I feel like you're just working that much harder.
Yeah.
And I do feel like, you know, you see like on social media, the big dance groups, and they are so tight knit clean. Their choreography from top to finish is not trick and a jump and a turn and a who and ha da da da.
Yeah.
Some of it's very like
simple.
Yeah, but it is clean
effective,
and tight, and like that I think translates to an audience in a much more like quote unquote cooler way than it does to be like, and here's this a trick and that, and the audience is like, oh, I can't catch everything.
Yeah, like we said, like we want to be advanced what we do, not beginner at advanced choreo.
Yes.
Because then otherwise you're just looking sloppy, and that doesn't feel good for any of us. Like someone told me years ago, like your marketing, you'll notice like even on Instagram, the days that you get the most followers from like say a content that does really well is also the day you get the most unfollows.
Really?
They happen at the same time because we've sparked something that inspires people to follow us and reminds people why we're different than them.
Yeah, I don't know where I heard about this, if it was a workshop or a podcast or something, but it's sparking that emotion.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what social media is doing, and whether that's a positive one or a negative one. Even if someone comments something negative on your post, that comment is essentially still
it's triggering the algorithm.
Adding
it's
to the
like,
analytics, right?
Yeah.
And so even though that was a negative emotion that you may have sparked in them, they're still helping your business ever so slightly.
Yeah. Because you're getting clear. You're being clear. You're not tiptoeing around. You're like saying something that is like strong and direct and impactful for people. And that is how you build community. That is how you build business. You cannot be for everyone. I'm a human being, of course. Like we are hardwired for acceptance. And so we're never gonna like be confident enough that nothing penetrates us. And if we are that, we're not confident, we're isolated and overly protected. But I had to just always remind myself of that. Like all I can be is me. And if someone wants to walk away from a decision I'm making and like bring whoever with them, then those weren't like my true community members, and those aren't the people that are gonna build this. Like it shouldn't be so hard. It's not just like every brand out there is like not for everybody. Like we have to be so clear, like in branding in general, like who we are, so that we attract the right clientele. And that's the most important. That's gonna feel the best, but it's also gonna make you the most profitable as well. We just assume that like people who have the numbers in terms of quantity have the numbers. And I always used to teach like get rid of like the ego and vanity metrics. Like when it comes to just business, it's dollars in your bank account, and when it comes to community, it's about the impact of the hearts that you change, and not like the quantity of people that follow you. We have to make it less about ourselves in that way of like, this isn't personal against me.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to someone who is new to maybe like starting a studio or starting a business in general? How would they go about starting to build that community then?
Group projects. It's like you have to have like a group project in the sense of like something that people are working towards. It's why I love that we do shows. So you have to have other things that are there that people keep people committed, and working towards an end goal with other people does that. And so it's like when you're like creating what your offer is, whether it's a show, whether it's a video session, whether it's even a progressive, like doing like a 5-week session and like where they're committed to 5 weeks over just drop-ins. It's like having something that they can work towards that gives them a transformation at the end, that like, and that's what I feel like for both of us does, like it's the stage moment.
Yeah.
I promise by the end of this 10 weeks, you will feel phenomenal. And if you find after that it wasn't for you, that's okay.
Yeah.
You cross something off your bucket list.
Yeah. It's invigorating. Like, you can't even explain it to people. You're like, just get up on stage and do it. And I have had people's partners, because we did like a partner dance.
I know, I love
They had
that
gone
you
up and
do
they
that.
did it. It was such a success. And it was, that particular one was all men. And they said they have never felt better about themselves because of how loud just our team, like everyone that was in the program, was cheering for them. They're, like, I'm getting goosebumps talking about
their
it.
Magic Mike moment.
Yes, it was just so fun. And
it's so far and few between where we feel like people genuinely, especially as adults, cheer us on. So for new people, it's have like something bigger that they're working towards, because it'll be too slow of a build. Like, you have to trust if you build it, they will come. If your end goal is to do programs and or to do like shows, then do a show. It doesn't matter if it's like a in-studio show. It doesn't have to be like a big venue or anything like that, but have something that they work towards and create that like sense of community. Start a private Facebook group for all your dancers that are a part of that, so they can connect with each other outside of it. And
I completely agree. I also feel like, I mean, selfishly, all of my friends are from the studio.
yeah, I know. It's all I hang out with.
Yeah, so it like really just helps build and foster that too. But you really never know based on what you're going to create. Even with this podcast, when I started it, and the first episode was released technically yesterday, but we're in the future now. And I had so many people message me, and one of them almost made me cry, because she texted me. She's like, I need to text you this, like not WhatsApp you, not email you. She was like, I need you to know that I cried watching your first episode, because I didn't realize how badly I needed someone else to understand exactly where I came from as well. And I was like, oh, like that's so, like, man, I want to hold you, you know? Like, and it's just having that like empathy, I think, for other people, because you'll be surprised of how many people in the world don't have that. But it's finding, I think, those moments of the safe spaces and being comfortable and showing up any version of yourself that you can offer up that day. And still knowing that, like, I'm going to have the best time.
Yes.
Yeah. I 100%. Think it's so key.
Yeah. And, like, kudos to you for doing it. Like, we were talking about it before we started recording, we were just yapping. But just, like, I think sometimes we forget in community, like, we put ourselves so far in the back. And, like, bringing yourself forward and telling your story, it resonates with so many people. And it shows them, like, you're human, too. And, like, they deal with the same things that I do, and we can all get through this together.
Absolutely. I've had people tell me that I am living their dream life, which is crazy, because I literally cry so often. Like, I still go through all the same stressful things. I'm still dealing with the same, like, mental demons that a lot of other people have. It's just a matter of what you show people. And not that I need to show everyone, like we kind of spoke about this in your new Instagram, you don't need to show everyone your entire life. But I think it is important to let them know that you are human, like you still have feelings. So you might be the owner, leader of your business, of your community, whatever it may be, but like things still hurt. So mean things that are said still, like, they still reach into you, you know? And just learning how to navigate that. But it's that offering up that vulnerability to people. I think is
vulnerability
key.
is such a superpower.
Yeah.
Like, it's what connects us all. Because vulnerability immediately dissipates shame. Because shame tells you that I'm the only one. When you hear somebody else validate and say, like, I'm feeling the same, you no longer feel ashamed. Like, it helps release some of that of, like, it's not just me. It's not just my fault, or it's just not like how I think about myself and everybody else has it perfect. It's like, no, we're all just doing the best that we can, and
just trying.
But it's just trying. It's like, okay, someone thinks you're living their best life. It's like, it's because you have the guts to do something scary anyway.
That's so true. I feel so empowered.
You're
I'm also
a bad
sweating
bitch.
a little bit. That's so good. Is there anything else that you would like to add, or that you can think of that you would, and you don't have
I'm sure anyone listening is probably like, stop yapping. Like, this is the longest podcast episode I've ever listened to in my life. But no, I think I pretty much covered it. Just like just do courageous things, and like, don't let other people tell your story for you.
Absolutely. And being a business owner, where can people find you?
If you are in Niagara and want to dance with me locally, you can follow Strut Niagara and check out my business there. Or if you're a dancer globally, you can follow me on The Dance Rebellion.
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate you making the drive to come here and talking with me for so long as we have been.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Amazing. Okay, until next time, I am Marissa Lauren, and okay, bye.